Okay, think about this for a second. What if your phone, your car, your computer, what if they all actually knew how you felt? We're diving into something called emotion AI, a technology that's designed to do exactly that.
So, how does it work? Well, for starters, they can read your face. And I mean, really read it. This technology is trained to pick up on those tiny, subtle cues in your expressions. The flicker of a smile, the way your brow furrows. And it uses that to figure out what you're feeling right in that moment.
But it's not just about watching you, it's also listening. It can analyze the tone of your voice, not just what you're saying, but how you're saying it. It's listening for those emotional tells in your pitch, your tone, the pace of your speech, adding another whole layer of data. And then it gets even more intense. It goes deeper, beyond what you show on the outside. This tech can monitor your vital signs, things like your heart rate, for example, to try and get a picture of what's really going on inside your head. So, yeah, we can do all this. The technology is here. But that brings us to the real question, the big one. Just because we can, does that mean we should? To even begin to answer that, we've got to look at where this whole industry is heading and what the hidden dangers might be.
All right, let's start with the basics. What is this stuff, and why is it blowing up right now?
Yeah, and when I say blowing up, I mean it. This is not some little niche tech project. Look at this number. We're talking about a market that's projected to be worth over $9 billion by 2030. That is huge. And a market that big, it's not a question of if it will change things, but how it's going to reshape pretty much every piece of tech we use. So let's get a clear definition. What is emotion AI? Well, you might also hear it called affective computing. At its heart, it's all about teaching machines to recognize, understand, and even simulate human emotions. It's basically the science of giving computers emotional intelligence. And believe me, this isn't just theory. It's already out there in the world in some pretty surprising ways. Think about cars that can tell if a driver is getting drowsy, or classrooms where it gauges if students are paying attention. Heck, there are even companion robots like this Ann and Panda designed to help older adults feel less lonely. The potential applications really do seem endless. Okay, but for every promise of a more connected, empathetic world, there's a flip side. Experts are starting to sound the alarm about some really serious risks, from hidden biases to actual real-world harm. And one of the biggest problems is bias. It's not just one thing. It can sneak in at basically every step of the process. You've got the algorithm itself being flawed. Then there's the data it learns from. What if that data doesn't represent everyone fairly? And on top of that, you have the humans who label all that emotional data, and they bring their own cultural baggage to the table. You put it all together, and you can end up with a system that's just fundamentally broken. And we're not just talking about some minor technical glitches here. This has serious real-world consequences. I mean, just imagine being turned down for a job or being flagged by the police or even getting a wrong mental health diagnosis, all because an algorithm misinterpreted your facial expression. The stakes are incredibly high. And you know it's serious when the alarm bells are being rung by the very people who built this stuff. We're talking about the pioneers of AI. They're not just worried about bias anymore. They're talking about constant emotional surveillance, the death of privacy, and even, the risk of creating something we literally can't control. But maybe the biggest risk isn't even about the tech itself. Maybe it's something more personal. Something about what this all does to us, to our very human connections. Yeah, there's actually a term for this, pseudo-intimacy. And it's a great term. Think of it like social junk food. It gives you that quick hit, that feeling of connection, but it's all simulation. It's missing the substance, the vulnerability, the messiness that makes real relationships, well, real. And this is all happening at a time when, frankly, we're lonelier than ever, especially young people. I mean, look at these numbers from the CDC. Almost half of high schoolers feel persistently sad or hopeless. So you can see the appeal, right? An AI friend that's always there for you, that never argues. That's a powerful idea. Which leads to this really critical question. Is this AI a tool, like a bridge, to help us get back to real human connection? Or is it becoming a substitute, a cozy little simulation where we can hide from the hard work of actual relationships? And this isn't just some philosophical debate. The risks are so real that major groups like Common Sense Media are now saying that kids and teens shouldn't use these AI companions at all. They're citing some really serious safety concerns. Okay, so the stakes are obviously really high. So what's being done about it? Well, thankfully, people are starting to talk about building some guardrails, some rules of the road for how to develop this stuff responsibly. A great example is what's happening in Europe with their AI Act. It's actually pretty smart. Instead of a one-size-fits-all law, they're taking a risk-based approach. The most dangerous stuff, like using this in workplaces or schools to read emotions, that's just banned, outright. Then you have high-risk areas, like law enforcement, where there are super strict rules and human oversight is a must. It's a tiered system. But it's not just about laws. Researchers are also pushing for building ethics right into the design from day one. Things like, giving you control over your own emotional data, the right to delete it, making sure the algorithms are transparent so we can check them for bias. And this one's huge, making sure these systems are designed to support our relationships, not become a replacement for them. So where does all this leave us? What's the big takeaway here? It really feels like we're at a crossroads.
Because at the end of the day, the technology isn't just good or bad on its own. It's all about the choice we make. Are we going to use this as a tool, a bridge to help us connect better, to practice social skills, to get support? Or are we going to let it become a substitute, an easy way out from the messy, difficult, but ultimately amazing work of real relationships?
And that really leaves us with one last thing to think about. As we're so busy teaching these machines all about our emotions, what are we teaching them and ourselves about what it actually means to be human?